The title of this podcast is, How do you see life? Do you see it as a fight or do you see it as fun? What I'm clear about is that until I really start to change, and this was even after I founded ToBeRe in 2006, but until I really start to change, I would say in earnest, about 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, it was at that point that I saw life as a fight. I mean, much of my life was a fight. I didn't know it at that point, but it was. I got progressively better in not, seeing life as a fight and seeing the fun in it, which is for me, the access of seeing the possibility of fun was acceptance and what later became practicing gratitude and all of that really became part of my practice. But back then, I made everything a fight. Nothing in life was fun. The weather wasn't the way I thought it should be. If I was in a place where I didn't want to be and I wanted to be somewhere else, it was a fight. A conversation or relationship wasn't going the way that I thought it should go, it was a fight. And I've said this before. There was a time in my life where I didn't have a life, I had a struggle. And that's a hard way to move through life. I had the capacity, the ability to ruin perfectly good moments, ruin perfectly great adventures and experiences. And that is certainly one way to move through life. And I see a lot of people doing that right now, and they don't even know they're doing it. For example, here we are with there being a couple choices available of how we can interact with the present moment. And people are choosing the way that only brings them more suffering, unaware that they're the one that's doing it. So here we are in the United States, and we are in an election year with two candidates who seem to be on opposite sides of the fence about the direction of the country and what they envision. Now, there are a lot of people that from this day up into the election and perhaps beyond the election are going to make life a complete fight, make every day about that. They will spend obsessed about watching the news, being excited about what their candidate is saying, being upset and completely put out about what the other candidate is saying. That's one way to spend every day between now and the election as life unfolds. But if you do, life is going to be a fight for you. Everybody that you see or listen to that is on the opposite side, you will see as an enemy. And that's one way to see another human being. But I guarantee you, if you do, that's a fight. And the fight is not out there it's not out there like you think it is. The fight is inside. There's a completely different way of seeing the next several months. And that way is consciously choose to make life fun. Someone says something regarding the election, you create the space for them to say it. You have no reaction, no response to it. Your views, keep them to yourself, or you can share them, but don't be upset if people don't embrace them or they don't share the same views. So if you take that approach of continuing to say, in the face of someone thinking differently than me, believing differently than I do about the direction of the country, I'm going to work on seeing the humanity in the other person, respecting their right to feel and vote the way they want to. I respect that. If you can do that with every single situation, life becomes fun. I mean, I am just amazed at how much I connect with people when I have absolutely no idea about what their political leanings are. Man, I have the best time with people. And then the work also is fun when I do find out what their political leanings are and they're opposite of mine, and I still have fun with them. Like that is where the growth is. And I don't know about you, but growing can be fun. And it certainly has been for me. And you can take this idea of whether life will be a fight or fun for you in every situation and circumstance. You have a career change that was not of your choosing. That can be a fight too. or it can be fun. You can actually take the necessary action to try to get some clarity or resolution with that while still having fun along the way. That doesn't mean that life is free of challenges, free of hardships. It is, but you deal with it in the moment that it's occurring. Okay, I have, expressed that I think this should go a different way. Now I'll wait for their response. During the waiting, you are not ruminating. You're not anxious, and you are not obsessed during the waiting period. What you're doing is going about having fun with all the other opportunities that life presents for you. That's what the wise person does. But most people are at the effect of their untrained mind, the personal mind. And in that case, man, all bets are off. You are likely to make life a fight. I mean, I've seen people that have spouses and loved ones who are happy, who are simply minding their business, and they will pick a fight because they want things to be different in a different way. Hey, let them be happy, and you can choose your happiness too. It can be fun. Maybe you're able to work things out. Great. Maybe you're not. That's great too. I mean, everything has a season. But if you're having fun with it, you can be supportive of other parties and still have a great time. You don't have to feel like you're left out or you got to make an impossible decision. Not when you make it about, I want to be turned on every moment, no matter where I am, and no matter what I'm doing, I want to be turned on. And no matter who I'm with, I want to be turned on. Make that your standard. And when you do, you will find an opportunity to make everything fun. Some of the most fun times that I've had has been when I was doing some really hard work. During one summer, right after high school, I worked for a moving company, and it was hard work, especially in Tennessee. And this was back in the late 80s, and people had that heavy furniture, pianos, grand pianos, that heavy oak wood. I mean, back-breaking work. But hanging out with those guys and those women and them listening to their experiences about their life and what they were going through, what they had been through, and how they just made they told it in so many funny stories that they communicated what their life experiences were. I had the best time with them. Now, some of the other hard work I had experienced was when I was in the Marine Corps, and that was an awful experience. Now, the work was no more hard in the Marine Corps than it was when I was working for the moving company. The difference is I made that a fight. At the moving company, I made the hard work and everything that came with it, I made it fun. And so you can do that with almost any experience that happens in life, anything. If you ask yourself a different question, not why is this happening to me or why has this happened to me, but in the face of this happening, how can I have fun? How can I make life fun? And if you aren't intentional and mindful about that being a possibility, life will continue to be a fight for you. Everything. Taking the kids to practice, a fight. Following up on their homework, a fight. What your spouse is doing or not doing according to what your expectations are, a fight. Like, it just doesn't have to be that way. There's an easier way. And I hope you will try the easier way.